left. It's easy for you to say.
We're here at COTA. It's the last race of the year, and you know, it's been a pretty good year for us up until about 4th of July at Road America, and I haven't had a finish since 4th of July.
COTA is actually the track, you know, I'd call it my home track for our schedule. I live about 3 hours away from here, so it's definitely the track on our schedule that I have the most laps at, if any laps at.
My name is Michelle Abadi. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I am a race car driver. This is one of the most, I guess, peak times of Trans Am. We got the highest car count, got a lot of eyes on the series. You got NASCAR looking at us. A lot of young talent that's here, a lot of veterans that are here, IndyCar champions here, Rookie of the Year, all that stuff. And like, to be a part of that is something in itself, but also the level of competition in TA2 is just massive. And I think that this series is seriously just on this launch pad getting ready to just explode. I mean, racing for me it's an escape from reality. Racing is just a very demanding space. It's a demanding sport, mentally, physically, and it's an equalizer between men and women. It's all factual. It's a lap time. It's not judged, and it's just so cool to be in a sport where like you can have a level playing field. This is a partnership, and this is something that can be beneficial to not just myself, but to people that want to showcase their companies or whatever it may be on the car. The partnership I have with Ghost and Ghost Energy is like just a dream come true, and I'm so proud to be the one representing them in motorsports. It's an honor, and I'm looking forward to how we continue.
You know, I've known Michelle for the last couple of years, met her at Trans Am, and just struck up a friendship. You know, she's the only female racer in TA2, and TA2 is a tough bunch, I'll tell you. And she's got guts, and I really like that. I like, you know, having a female on the team, so I'm hoping that her funding arrives and we can make it happen for 2023. You know, she's got lots of room for improvement. She just needs the support.
There's no better investment in motorsports, in my opinion, than where we are racing right now in TA2.
I'm gonna start in here. Yeah, you're clear.
The last few races we've had very limited track time, and the schedule has been, needless to say, a lot of big gaps in between. And you know, we had one session on Friday. It was 45 minutes long, so that's your test session. And a long test session is good because you can go out and, you know, run some laps, come in, make changes, and you know, help dial the car in. Unfortunately, it had been raining all day. It was dry, it was wet, dry and wet, so it was really a gamble, should we go out or not. I decided not to go out initially. I went to go look at the cars going around the track, and I quickly saw that, whoa, the track is pretty dry. So I ran back to the pit, got in the car, and got out there.
Yeah, you know, in low speed, this will turn in. It pushes this really tight. I think we got the first gear too tall.
The gearing was too tall, first gear was too tall, so the car was lugging off the slow corners. You know, the engine jetting wasn't quite the way we needed it to get all the performance out of it.
Glad we went out.
The low speeds is bogging down? Okay. I can hear it over here bad. It's bad.
You know, we learned a lot of things and made those adjustments, and, you know, the car got faster.
Coming on to the back straight, it's real tight there. Can't get it to turn.
I think that exit onto the back straightaway is probably your most important corner here, just because of the time that you're able to make out and all the way down the straightaway. COTA, it's an exciting track. I think they've taken a lot after Silverstone from what I've been told, and the gentleman that designed this track has designed a lot of famous Formula One tracks. So obviously this track was designed for more of a Formula One style car, and our TA2s is pretty far from that.
It has a pretty bad push and gets into snap oversteer.
You think it's the tires or do you think it's something else?
My approach into this session and this weekend was a little bit better now that we're at a track that I'm familiar with. So that first session, I'm not just wasting it trying to get familiar with the track and learn it. We're able to go out and push, you know, to the max and start working on the car right away.
These tires might be junk. I just did a 360.
A little bit of right input, and I was just at 1080. I was spinning.
It's much better. It feels like we still have a little bit of a push in the front end, but the rear end's better.
That last adjustment, it gave me the rear end in the car.
Yeah,
It felt like
litter off the ground when I did.
Actually, my previous team told me it might have been like the worst year to do a national TA2 campaign because there is just so much talent. But I wouldn't want to have it any other way because it really shows kind of where I stack up, what the potential is, like if he can do it, I can do it type thing, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's been exactly how I wanted it to be, and I just hope to continue to keep learning and working my way up towards the front.
What about your landing there? So, were you pitching it off too tight at start?
95% of the work that Michelle does on her race car is her and her husband in their little shop in Las Vegas. You know, they drove 23 hours to get here. They brought her car and you know, we've had her under our tent all weekend and helping her get set up, try different shocks that we had that we put on her car, and you know, and that's the goal with everybody on our team, is to help them improve throughout the weekend and get better results.
We were both like, yeah!
And then
it was like,
killed it. Yeah.
oh,
But it's because you know, I was on a different line as I entered it, which was
Right.
good, but then I didn't know how to react to the car, so
Yeah.
I slowed it down.
My goal is to be like fast and talented and good, and it just takes time to get there.
Well, the S's are diabolical. They're very frustrating. They start wide and they tighten up, tighten up, tighten up. So if you overcharge the S's, you get too aggressive there, you find yourself just trying to collect the car back together. Yeah, the first practice session, you know, we went out on sticker tires, so new tires help all kinds of problems. But, you know, I was pretty happy with what we ran. You know, as a rule of thumb this year, if I ran a 209, for example, last year, which I did in qualifying on new tires, usually I'm 3 seconds faster based off of the changes that we have on the car. Bigger brakes, 18-inch wheel and tire combination from Pirelli, that type of thing. So you've got to be, you know, rule of thumb is we're 3 seconds quicker.
I mean, it was okay. I just said, you know, what do we run? 28.17? 1.5, what they got here.
We ended up only being like a second and a quarter quicker. So we know we haven't really hit the setup. We really haven't hit the sweet spot yet, and it's frustrating. We're out of time. At qualifying, I'm disappointed because we made changes and we expected to get those other 2 seconds that were sitting there on the table. We really expected to be in the 206s.
P7.
It wasn't there. We only equaled what we had run in practice before, so you know, we kind of went back to where we were before. So I think I'm going to have a good race car, something I can, you know, I can feel comfortable with, you know, throughout the hour and 15-minute race.
It's great to see that this car is still competitive, you know what I mean?
In my career, it's an awesome time for me to start excelling and really proving myself when I've worked so hard the last 15 years to get to this point. It's everything I need. I need that supportive team, and that they welcome my husband Anthony as my crew chief, and they all work together. We've made leaps and bounds with the car in just a couple sessions. I mean, I've had that car for 3 years. It's a very old TA2 chassis, but it has potential, and we're showing that. And right now, it's kind of what we're working with. But yeah, this is what I want and need, and it's just been such an awesome experience. I'm very excited for the race tomorrow, and I can't wait for next year.
I'm happy. I mean, I can only ask for stuff. I don't really like this track anyway, so it's good.
Car look good.
Like what it'll give you here, and do I have the truck?
Yes, sir. Copy that. this guy we were going to leave a gap, and he said he'd do the same, so I'm not sure what he's doing. He's still taking it easy on this lap, so I'm going to do the same.
Stay 4.
You know, we've been chasing our tails all weekend long. I've been going over the data, trying to improve myself, and I felt like we finally got the car where I wanted it, and I needed to be where I was.
I can run a 12 easy, maybe even 11. The car feels much, much better.
Flag all, flag all.
Yeah, I was on a really good one there. I felt it's already 2.5 seconds up. It's working towards 3.
And it's just a shame that our session got ended that early.
They just threw the checker for this session.
They checkered it.
Especially being on a lap as good as we were, that probably would have put us 11th or 12th, you know, instead we started 28th.
They're ending this session.
Let's finish strong.
Yes, sir.
Finish.
I can do that. No, that car that we had right there was great. I was really, really happy with what we had right there. That's why I'm so upset that I didn't get to use it. I'm not here to run around in 28th. I know what my sponsor wants, I know what the team wants, and I know what I want. And you know, that's not 28. That's a top 10, top 5 in a podium. So it's pretty disappointing whenever I'm not able to, you know, give the team what we're looking for. And I take some blame in that. You know, I thought I could have built a bigger gap to the driver ahead, but I didn't think I needed to, and ended up being wrong. So, you know, I take a little blame for that. I think we could have been higher up with a better lap that I didn't get held behind, but, you know, that's my fault, and I'm the one that has to live and learn with that and, you know, deal with the repercussions tomorrow in the race.
Yeah, for me, when I get ready to race, the number one thing, I don't want to be in a rush. You'll see me getting ready like, you know, 20 minutes before we go out. I'm the driver that sits in the car the entire time we're on pre-grid. I'm not out, I'm not drinking water, I'm not, you know, just kind of showcasing and talking to people. I want to be in my car strapped in, ready to go, so then when we have 5 minutes to go, like, I'm ready. And honestly, you'll see in the video, in the camera, I fall asleep, and you'll see me just like nod out, and it's the weirdest thing, and it's so frustrating because like I am just so calm in the car, and I'm just waiting, and like I can't help but like my eyes just start closing, and I knock out, and it's really weird. I hate it, but that's kind of my ritual, is I'm always falling asleep on the grid.
All right, you know, you'll come out across the start finish line and be 1 to go to the green. Like I say, just relax. That start right there, be real patient on this first start, because they like to stack them up there in turn 1, so just be patient.
I wouldn't say I get nervous. You know, you do a lot of sim races, and sometimes you have 70 to 80 cars within a single sim race, so having 60 cars is kind of normal for me, I'd say.
Going into turn 1 in TA2 with a 3 car field, especially in the 38th position, is definitely a daunting feeling. And going into the race, I spoke with Anthony, and I kind of planned with him that we were just gonna kind of play it safe. You know, don't really worry if you get passed on the outside, or just stay clean, because last year's race, we made it through turn 1, but we didn't make it through 2 or 3 or 4, and the S's and all that. So we went into it with an attack of just like kind of just drive cautiously, smart, keep it clean, and go from there.
Like I say, just be patient that first corner there, especially.
Still got a lot of cars coming. Make sure to hustle and try to push these guys and catch up in front of you, so we're on time for the green flag.
Well, yeah, start going into this race, we're obviously way in the back and not where we want to be, and you know, we knew that it was going to be a long race and that we got to take our time and work to the front.
Okay, open mic. Get ready. 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 Green, 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 green.
Yeah, going into turn 1, I just made a stupid mistake and locked up the rears, plain and simple.
Something's in the rear end is broke.
You know, moving off.
No, it won't grab.
I learned from that mistake, and I have a strong feeling I won't do it ever again. It definitely stings for a little bit, but yeah, you can't sit there and let it beat you up for too long, and you know, the best way you can do is learn from it and try to move on.
Do you think it'll go yet, make you going and start pulling you?
I think so.
Yeah, we finally were able to go back down the hill, and you know, the guy said give it another try, and we got it rolling.
It's rolling. They can drop me. They can drop me. They can drop me. But there's no.
If you start waving frantically, whatever you got to do, slam on brakes or something. You know what I mean? Make sure they can see you.
There they are, kept trying to pull us, and I just slammed on the brakes, sitting there waving my hands, screaming.
Yeah, I think they see you, but he's not stopping. Keep waving, yeah.
Finally, the guys on the pit road got them to relay the message and get them to stop and let us get back going again.
I can't believe that. I'm sorry, guys.
It's going to be green this time, By. Tell me how it feels. If it feels okay, don't stop. But if it feels funny, stop. I don't want nothing bad to happen.
Yeah, the car is fine.
It's all good. Relax. Forget about it. Erase it if it's past now. Just keep, do what you got to do. You know, all these guys in front of you right here, you know what they are. So just be careful with them. But close up as quick as you can. You know what I mean? But you good plate. That's the kind of pass where it's crazy.
Yes, sir. Ready? Green, green, green.
Yeah, I mean, from then on, we're the only car a lap down. I'm basically last at that point, and yeah, I'm not going to get that lap back. There's nothing in this series that allows you to get that lap back, so we just wanted to use the rest of that race kind of as a test for me to learn and get familiar with everything. And obviously, you're not going to give up and just park it. That doesn't exist in our category, but yeah, you just wanted to. I knew that we had a lot to lose and nothing to gain, so I was just trying to be smart and use the track time to continue learning.
As a driver, I've learned I need to just keep my cool. I need to stay smart in the car. Throughout the years, when I was younger, I used to kind of race like with emotion. I'd get aggressive, I'd get mad, I'd get sad, and like I call it like when I used to be like Corella DeVille, like behind the wheel and just going nuts. And I've learned in TA2, like you just kind of can't have any emotion and just focus and be very like mentally strong and have a path of, I guess, mentality or a strategy to pass people, and I've learned you have to kind of present yourself before you make a pass, because if you don't, someone might not see you and they're just going to turn down on you. And so having a bright yellow car helps with that, because typically they just keep looking in their mirror and make a mistake. But yeah, I've definitely learned that I just need to just become smarter behind the wheel and try to save your equipment almost, because it's a 100-mile race and it takes a long time. And you got to be there in the end. TA2 racing, everything is about learning. Even though I'm at a track that I've been to a few times and I have that under my belt, I'm still really learning how to drive these cars and how to race these cars. More importantly, how to qualify them. I am a terrible qualifier. I just need to learn how to drive on a sticker, and so I'm learning from there, but also just throughout this season, I've learned how to have racecraft in TA2, because I tell everybody it's not just so much being the fastest driver out there, it's more of like making it through the race, because to finish a race is even like an astounding accomplishment, especially when you have 50 plus cars or 30 plus cars. I mean, it takes a little bit different mentality than when you're racing 10 or 15, different cars. It's definitely a wild ride out there. It's exciting in many different ways, and being part of the Showtime team and the Franklin Road Motorsports team is the chosen team. I just know it because I've done my research, and they just check all the boxes, and I am just honored to be working with them.
Yeah, I mean, this is by far my worst qualifying, worst race weekend, and it was at the track that we were looking forward to the most. So it's disappointing, but I know we have a lot of stuff planned for the off season to get us back going in the right direction, and yeah, February can come soon enough with the first race of the season.
1.5 laps. Can you go by, and then the next time by, please?
I didn't qualify well. The car wasn't bad, but I think it's a combination of me not having enough track time here at COTA. I've raced here twice, but it's so intricate and so difficult and technical that it takes a while to remember all the little tricks of the trade to get going fast enough here. So we missed the setup early on, but boy, JJ Perillo and Ultimate Performance, they really worked their tail off to get the car back into shape. So I felt I had a pretty good race car.
Remember, Ken, roll those corners. Don't force it, okay? Copy.
And turn one here is diabolical because you've got a really wide track going uphill and an extremely sharp left-hand first gear corner. And when you have a wide track with cars spread out, you have 5 cars who want the same piece of real estate, and there's usually a wreck that usually happens on the first lap of the race.
Get ready, Ken, get ready.
Green, 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 green.
Get through, you get through.
You know, we had a wreck in the first corner, and you know, we're no stranger to wrecks this year. Most everybody continued. My engine was stalled. I had to get it refired again and get going again.
I'm going now.
I was in dead last place, so you know, I put it in first and took off. Dylan Archer was spotting for me up in the bridge over the S's.
Look, Dylan.
Car looks fine. That car looks fine.
So from that point on, I didn't think about, oh wow, oh woe is me, I didn't get another good start. I just said, well, I've got an hour and 15 minutes to just put my head down, click off laps, and see how many people I can pick off.
Okay, Ken, car looks good, car looks good. Focus. Use your sway bars if needed. Let's go get them, buddy.
Copy that.
Go get her, go get her.
Tell him I'm coming.
I need to get down to the 209.
Never lay down, never give up. I am a fighter.
You are P6.
I'm a fighter.
4 seconds faster than drifting.
Even if I fall, I'll be up again, 'cause I'm a fighter. I am a fighter. I'm a survivor. Never lay down, never give up. I am a fighter.
Oh man, I'm just getting started.
I just kind of got in the zone, put my head down. I didn't wear a cool suit this time in the car. I didn't want the extra weight. I knew I had a drink bottle. Fortunately, the drink bottle quit after 5 laps. But you know what? That's why we work out. That's what you have to do in these cars in order to survive an hour and 15 minutes running flat out, every lap flat out. So, you know, I'm glad I was in shape. I was fine, man. I made it to the end, no problem, you know, and look at the result. I'm glad everything turned out the way it did.
Good job, Ken. P4, P4. Way to bring her home, buddy. Good race.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. Especially when I passed Tommy. Better get used to that.
Ultimately, what happened was that one of the best drives of my life came from 25th to 4th in the race distance with no caution. So, you know, I'll take it. Unfortunately, it's not enough to overhaul Tommy for 2nd place in the points, or even Amy for 3rd place in the points. It's really difficult to score points when, you know, you crash out of 2 laps in a row, 2 races. It's really difficult to score points when you crash out of 2 races in a row. So, you know, I'm paying the penalty for that. But I'll tell you what, after a drive like today at COTA, you know, it's a good way to put a period at the end of our season for 2022, and let's look forward to 2023.